Hello and thanks for joining me on Food from Farming. I'm here with Mark Gebhardt. He's the Executive Director of Illinois Farm Bureau. We're over a year into the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Last year, people were wondering about wheat, wondering about fertilizers, because that's the part of the world where those items come from. A year later, here we are. What's the most recent information?
Well, I think when you look at the Ukrainian conflict, and as you indicated, we're 1 year in, it doesn't appear that it's going to end anytime soon. It impacts us in many ways around the world. One of those is certainly on the fertilizer side. We saw tremendous price increases because of the availability or lack of availability that at least was projected in some of our fertilizers around nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, and so forth. We've seen that stabilize a little bit, but there's still a lot of up and down. And so, we've been advising our members, our farmers, to work with their ag retailers to make sure that, again, product is available, which it appears it is. We do see price fluctuation. I think we're going to continue to see that because of just the lack of stability in a worldwide market. Added to the Ukrainian conflict, you just have a lot of questions around, again, what's China's role with Russia? How does Brazil work with China in terms of other agricultural production and meeting needs? So this whole geopolitical arena just causes a lot of unrest, a lot of uncertainty. That being said, though, the good news is, again, we've seen some price stability come back into the fertilizer side. When you talk about wheat, a lot of folks were really worried that this would affect us from a kind of a food scarcity standpoint. That's really not been the case, especially here in the United States. Now, when you talk about Africa, that's a little different story because Ukraine provided so much of the wheat for the African community. Ukraine is the 5th largest wheat producer in the world, so they are significant. Their infrastructure, the logistics, the ports, and whether they can even move a product, if they can grow it and harvest it, then can they actually transport it, remains kind of a question mark. So I think you're going to continue to see some variation again in the wheat market, some availability issues, that sort of thing. And the other thing we've seen impact us from the conflict is just the disruptions in the supply chain. So it's just kind of the world we live in today. We're going to have that uncertainty continue.
Well, Mark, as always, thank you so much for being with us. Remember who butters your bread and thank a farmer. I'm Sarah Michaels.